Hi everyone, welcome to Coding Simplified, and today we'll see a new video on the technical interviews and which is about the preparation for the language specific questions, right? So language specific questions means which are based on a particular language or a particular skills like either C language, Java, JavaScript, Python, C sharp or any specific particular language, right? So first of all, we'll see that like which companies ask this question, what's the reason of asking this question, and then how we can distinguish that whether there is probability of asking this question or not, and then how we can prepare for that, right? So first of all, let's see that what's the reason of asking these questions. Now, before that, let's see that like which companies ask this question and why they ask this, right? So generally the product based companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and take any product companies, they generally don't focus on the language specific. Like JavaScript, they won't ask questions from the Java or from JavaScript or from the C sharp or C++, because what they expect that if a person is capable in the coding or in the logical problem, then language is just a matter of fact that they will eventually get to know all the syntaxes, because obviously it is all about the syntax, right? If you know any language, if you know C language, then you can learn any language. It is just about like the concept is same, it's just that the language you have to learn the syntax, right? So the if you are going for the interviews for the product based companies means which make the product, like Microsoft has its own product, Adobe has its own product, Google has their own products, so they don't focus on they don't focus on these languages. On the other side, the service based companies or the companies which are the financial companies, they mainly focus on the specific language, like all the banking companies, like you say Morgan Stanley, RBS Bank, or even Goldman Sachs. uh, these kind of company focus on the Java, right? Because Java is heavily used there, so they focus on Java. Similarly, like the service based companies like TCS, Infosys, they also focus on the language, because for them like their developers will be working for a particular client. So in that case, either they will work on the JavaScript on the UI side, or it will be on backend like Java. So they mainly focus on the language specific thing, right? So it means if you are appearing for the service based companies or the financial companies or the like fintech companies, fintech based technical companies who work on financial, so there you have to focus on the language. You have to be little bit prepared on your specific language, whether it's Java, JavaScript, C sharp, C++, or whatever language you have worked on, right? And it's not that you have to learn every language, it's just that you have to choose any one language. So like if you are proficient in the Java, then you can mention the Java. If you know the C++, then tell about the C++ or C sharp or the Python or any other language, right? So it means these are the like which are the companies ask this question. So we have answered this type. Now what's the reason of asking this question? So if you know like if you see that financial companies, because their whole software are mainly on the Java side, right? So on the backend side, so that's where they focus that if a person knows the Java, that's why like they can basically like work efficiently here, right? Similarly, like the companies like let's say service based companies, so as I mentioned that they have their clients, so depending on your language, they put you in that client developers list, right? So that's again a reason like why they want the people who know the language already, so that they don't want to invest again the investment, or they don't want to invest time there, right? But the product based companies are a little bit different. They focus on the data structure, they focus on your design, they focus on your logical programming rather than a specific language, right? So that's the reason like why they ask these kind of questions. Now how we can like, these are the fundamental thing. Like let's say if you are going for the product based, then you can skip even the preparation of this one, but if you are going for the service based or the financial, then you have to prepare for this one. Now you can also get from their job description, like find out that what's written in their GD. We say JD as like job description. So in that JD, in the details of your job description, you can find out that if there is a must, because sometime like the hiring manager specifies specifically that the candidate must have knowledge on the Java, or candidate must have knowledge on the C++ or on a particular technology. So if it is written explicitly in this case, then you have to be ready for that one. But if it is not written there, it means there won't be ask any such question, right? Because if they ask, generally they put it there so that like like already like candidate know that okay, their like expectation is that Java should be there, or like you should know the Python, or you should know the C++. So from the JD as well, you can get a hint that whether there will be questions or not, right? Now let's come to that how we can prepare for any such language specification, right? Now let's see that how we can prepare the language specific topics. The first point is that for any language, whether it's a Java, C Sharp, C++, Python, React, the important part is that you should have to learn the basic concept. Obviously you would know the basic thing, but sometimes it happens that we ignore the things like memory management, we ignore the things like garbage collection, right? So these are some of the important topics, and so that you have to understand as well. Like for example, this is just for example, like for the Java, C Sharp, C++, you have to understand like what are the oops concept, right? Like what is a polymorphism, overriding, overloading, similarly what's the inheritance, abstraction, etc. Similarly, like what's the threading concept. Threading concepts are very important in any language, because if you want to scale your system, then threading comes definitely, right? So like let's say if one thread is executing, now you want to make it parallel, so in this case you have to basically execute in parallel threading. So now then it comes the concurrency. Let's say if the some of the objects are shared, then how two threads can access a particular like share like the object, right? So that comes in the concurrency. So threading and concurrency are very important that you should know. Now in the collections are again important topic, like because there are so many collections: HashMap, HashSet, list, array list, linked list, tree map, HashMap. So which collection you would use at what time, that's again important part, right? So you should know about a little bit information, like like what's the concept of the hash set. Like generally they ask like what's the difference between hash set and hash map, and like where you would use the hash map and hash set. So even like you should know the internals of the hash set and hash map, because I have seen a lot of questions, interviewer ask this, like what's like how hash map works, or like how hash set works. So be in any language, these are very important topics. Again, like memory management, like how the garbage collections are happening, how the objects are being cleared, how they are creating the objects, like what happens when they create the object. So that's again you should know, right? Similarly, like the object creation, like how objects are created, when any objects are created, or like how you can create a different objects, right? So you should know about this one. Then the what's the compilation process, so that's again you should know. Then you should also know the design pattern, because a interview can ask about the design pattern as well, right? Like they can ask about the factory pattern, they can ask about the builder pattern, or they can give you a situation that which pattern you would use here. So that's again a very important topic that you should know. Now, so it means the first point is that learn the basic concept. After that, then learn some specific things as well, like threading, concurrency, collection, memory management, polymorphism, and all that thing. Now if you know some specific framework, so you should know about these topics as well. Like let's say if you know about the Spring, or like in the description there is a details of the Spring, so you should know about this one. It could be about the UWP app as well, it could be about the Angular or Backbone or any other specific framework as well, right? So we should ready with the language specific preparation as well. Interviewer can ask these topics as well based on the companies. So that's all for this video. In case you have any doubts, please write in the comment section, we'll discuss further. And guys, if you have liked the video, please like it, and please subscribe the channel for more such videos. Thank you.